everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Like Queen Lisa. What an amazing time to be alive. I think so much is being exposed right now, and I can't wait. DJT's birthday is tomorrow, so happy early birthday. We'll be, of course, giving him a proper birthday celebration. Shout out tomorrow on his birthday on Flag Day, which is also the Army's birthday. But a big special shout out to my baby sister. It's her birthday today. So happy birthday, Mamie. We love you. She doesn't watch my show, but I'm going to tell her I love her anyway. And my buddy Sean's going to join me right after this. And I'm wondering, where's Hunter? All this talk about Trump. And did you guys know that today's the day that Hunter's supposed to be in court in Arkansas too? What are they coming up with all this noise? Let's check it out right after this. Hey, Sean, happy Tuesday. So much truth coming out. This is so awesome. You're muted. He was muting while I was getting everything ready, so he wasn't quite back on. And now he's punking us, most likely.
And that is the last time I will ever talk about that again.
That is a famous quote from his friend, John McAfee. So if you guys haven't seen, Sean has a whole series of great interviews from the legend, John McAfee, on his channel. Please go check those out. And it's very enlightening and is not the same person that the documentary on Netflix led you to believe that he was. So please go check that out. That was very enlightening for me.
Yeah, he was a fun guy.
Hey, Bitcoin Bins in the chat. You guys, that's another thing, another great channel that you can check out. That is the man that taught me a lot about true American history and set me on a path of a lot of truth and enlightenment about the history of our country and the difference in what's going on with the corporation right now versus we the people. So
I remember back when Ben was my friend. That was cool.
He is still your friend. He says, "Hey, brother."
He used to talk to me all the time.
He's you
still text me, Ben. It's cool, man. Got my number.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, I know he's busy.
Yeah.
Good to see you, man. Good to see all y'all.
Everybody's on this
history this week. I forgot what it was, but it was a surprise.
Would you say something about history this week?
Yeah, something about
There's a lot of World War II history, significant moments in World War II history that are rolling out this week. You know, right now, it's all about World War II history. There's JFK moments.
Some World War II stuff. Learned a crazy thing about this guy that got really high on meth, a soldier. I watched on the fat electricians thing. This Finnish soldier, he was holding the meth for the Germans. Oh, the Germans invented meth. That was one thing. That was part of it. Okay, yeah, World War II. Germans invented meth, and they gave it to all their soldiers. So all their soldiers were...
Oh, to be like hyped up like cocaine or whatever?
Right, to get super hyped up into fight and all. But nowadays we know that meth also messes with your brain. So that was probably one of the reasons why they were able to do a lot of atrocities, because they were stoned on meth that we never learn. Thanks, man.
And remember that the military specifically, like they recruit the 17, 18-year-olds. And we know that, we know now that that part of the brain that understands consequences of actions is not fully developed in men until they're like 25 to 30 sometimes, especially if you're introduced to drugs or alcohol. So maybe that delays that, so they're able to go do things that would be, not make a lot of sense or might put them in danger. But
this one, it was a Finnish soldier, and he didn't like the meth. So all of the people in his platoon gave him their meth to hold, because they would take it to, have a little fun, pep themselves up, and they're supposed to use it for battle. And they were fighting these Russians. And so he's carrying it all in this canister, and they're running from the Russians. The Russians are chasing him, but they're catching up. And he's the lead guy. Oh, this is Finland, so it's all this like new snow. So he has to pack down the snow as the scout, and then it's everybody follows in his tracks. But the Russians are coming up on him, so he says, "Oh, I'm going to take some of this meth," but it's called something. It's called like a brand name,
Sudafed.
or Mentos. So it's like a
Called
Mentos
Sudafed.
container.
Yeah.
When he takes the Mentos container, it's tin, and it's been in his body, in his jacket. Half of it's cold, half of it's hot, so it's melted. All the pills have melted into one glob. So rather than take a bite of it or something, he just takes the whole glob, which was 30 pills of meth. And this is like industrial grade pharmaceutical, this is strong stuff. So he whacks out, goes nuts, just starts going super fast. They get away from the Russians. They go to camp, and he leaves the camp and then starts taking off. Goes through a bunch of really weird adventures. Gets lost, thinks he finds the camp, but it's actually the Russians' camp, and he goes right into it, and it takes off. Crazy story. The ant blows up his foot on some booby traps from an old World War II bunker from the Nazis. Soldiers find him. Finnish soldiers find him like 10 days later at the leg, or his foot blown off. So they go like, "Oh, okay, we're gonna help you," and then they go to help him, and then one of the guys gets blown by another booby trap. So they're like, "We can't help both of you guys. We're gonna take our man back, and we'll send someone else." 3 days later, they send someone back. They get him. So he was out for 2 weeks, and he went almost 300 miles from where he originally was with his platoon.
I wonder if that's they were talking about that, like there was a movie called Cocaine Bear that came out recently. I wonder if that's like nod to that or something.
No, that's a real thing that happened.
Oh, wow. I don't know.
Those drug dealers dropping cocaine dropping to the hills. That's how they used to drop it to their couriers. I think they came over from Canada. But a bear ate their cocaine. The movie's fake because the bear only lived like, I think it was like 35 minutes or something. But he ate like, millions of dollars worth of cocaine, and then did go crazy, but it only lasted like 30 minutes. And they found him dead.
So big news today, big news all over the place. Of course, the biggest news is the Trump indictment, not arrest. Let's all keep our cool. Let's all not be spiked by fear porn and disinformation. We want to be telling the truth on Truth Tuesday.
But he already got arrested.
Not an arrest. It's an indictment. So Ready to Rock, he brought in the documents and delivered the documents, was indicted. Actually, I don't know if it was a confirmed, I don't know what the process is, if it's confirmed indictment, but he was like, they served indictment. I don't know. I need to educate myself on that, I guess. But they brought him to the courthouse. He went through whatever process and was there less than an hour, I guess. And there was some really cool pictures. I thought I retweeted them. I guess I didn't.
No, he was arrested. He was arrested at the courthouse.
It doesn't say arrest.
Donald Trump arrived at the federal courthouse in Miami on June 13th, where he was placed under arrest and booked on charges relating to mishandling classified documents. He was arraigned in front of a magistrate judge, Jonathan Goodman, according to the New York Times.
Arraignment. Well, then that would be the arrest that shocks the world, I guess. But it's my understanding that indictment is not an arrest.
Yeah, but he was arrested. He was arrested and booked. Then you go to court and get arraigned because he was charged, and then he could either go in or they could come get him. But he went in. I'm sure there's going to be mug shots that are going to be released. Here, let me show you. I'll send you this. This is it says the Trump arrest in Miami explained in 90 seconds by the
digital
BBC.
prints only. I'm hearing.
Huh?
Digital prints only. I'm hearing. Gazoo says. No pics, no cuffs.
Really?
That's what Gazoo's saying.
I still no one's answered the question and that I asked when all this started, like months and months and months ago. A couple people have asked the question, but no one has answered it. Um, this has never happened before. So his Secret Service has to go wherever he goes. So if he's arrested and put in jail, they would have to go with him, and like they would have to fight law enforcement if like the sheriff's department or anyone tries to stop them from going in the jail or going in the cell. If he gets sent to prison for a year, they would have to go to the prison and be there. There's so many things that have never happened.
Like when my assistant embezzled all that money from us, it was my understanding that she like, because I asked about like, because I'm a human and she's a young girl and I was concerned for her. So they told me that she would be like taken in, booked, and then she would go in like a area or whatever, and then she would go in like a holding area, but she wouldn't like go in prison or whatever. And then she would be bonded out before she ever really went in anywhere. So most likely he went in like
somewhere. Well, there's jail and there's prison. Nobody goes to prison unless they send back.
He didn't go to like.
But if you go in, you normally go to jail. See, but then if they did that to him, they would have to answer the question. You know what I mean? His Secret Service detail would have to follow him into the cell. So sometimes, so what happened was, usually you go in, you get arrested, or you go in, and they take you and put you in jail, and then you see the judge for bond or for an arraignment. But they took him directly from. It was like just steps here. You're arrested. You're booked. Here's the judge. You're free to leave. So I don't think they want to. They don't want to open the can of worms as into sending him to a jail cell, because then these things would have to be answered. There would be a standoff between law enforcement, where they would say the deputies and the bailiffs are going to take you, and then the Secret Service will say don't touch him or step back, and you have that standoff. That I think that's what they're trying to avoid, and no one's been talking about it since I brought it up at the beginning. It's something that's never happened, and that's going to have to be answered, or it's going to have to be just go away.
So I won't play the video or the sound to this, but it's Welcome to the Jungle. Dan Scavino posted this morning. And so you guys know my little boy plays Fortnite, and they've used video games and stuff to like send comms for a long time, whatever. And the new Fortnite series came out on last night at whatever time, and he was so excited. And he's like, Mom, look, you want to watch the preview? I was like, oh, sure, babe. So we're watching it together, whatever. And he's like, I said, what is that? And he's like, oh, it's these raptors, these dinosaurs, and they're running through the jungle. And the new series is all in the jungle. So the new map is in the jungle. And then Dan Scavino posts this Welcome to the Jungle this morning. So none of this is a surprise to Trump or his crew. I think this is still about delivering the packages, delivering the information to the people so that they'll believe it. Let's remember that Hunter was supposed to show up today. Where is the information? Which part? The Banks of China part?
Nope.
This part, Blackstone. Nope. The crazy part. Amazon will shut down your
home.
Yeah, so if you have like
on my channel when we go over there, that shocked me.
Why would this shock you? As much censorship as we have on every other thing, if you're smart, if your AI thing, so a lot of the and that's where like on who too.
Yeah, they could say
like a strike or whatever.
You go to McDonald's and you say, "Hey, give me a Big Mac," and that kid behind the counter punches you in the face and say, "Hey, you have a quarter pounder." You're like, man, censorship, it's crazy. What the fuck business of it is Amazon? Who the hell is Amazon? They're a company, dude. They're a privately owned company telling people, and they don't, no. You're giving government type authority to a company. That's what blows my mind out. People that are arguing about this or talking about this, they have why do they care? What business is it of theirs? If I'm
It's
the head
not.
of the Ku
But
Klux
it's the
Klan,
same thing.
I
This is
should
the
be able to
slippery
buy their
slope
product.
that we're saying, like, well, they're allowed to shut us down on YouTube because it's their platform. So now they're saying, well, they're allowed to shut us down on their what is their thing called? I can't remember what their smart device, Echo.
Yeah, no, yeah,
If
their Echo device.
their Echo device thinks that we're using racist
No, but they're
language,
not. You're paying for that. It's not. They're not like they're giving it to you. It's not like a government program that tells you you can have this government
trust me, I'm
program.
not saying it's okay.
But
I'm
this is
just not
something like
surprised.
that. Your iPhone. This is something like your iPhone can shut all your stuff down, or look at you in the public's messages, and it's all okay. Because it would have to be in their terms of service, then it's okay. And if it was,
And lock you out
it would
of your
right.
own phone,
That would have to be in their terms of service. I guarantee when you sign up for an Amazon account, it doesn't say, hey, if you use a racial slur, we're going to take away your product.
or hate speech.
Yeah, it's not. That's nowhere. This is nuts that this guy was locked out of his house and he didn't even do anything.
Mhm.
It was Amazon that did it.
Yeah.
It was a pre-programmed Amazon the doorbell thing that said thank you or no one's here right now or something, and the guy had headphones in and heard something wrong. So and he said he gave them the film, but that's where it gets weird when people start saying he didn't do it. He gave them all the video footage to prove he didn't do it. What business is it of theirs?
Yeah, he shouldn't have to prove. This is where it's gone so backwards. What happened to innocent until proven guilty?
This is social credit score.
Yes, it is social credit score. This is
going into your grocery store trying to buy groceries, and the clerk like, wait a minute, I saw your comments
thought
on the
speech
new,
or whatever it is.
show.
Yeah.
You're a misogynist. You said women are stupid and they're not funny. They're not good comedians, and you can't buy it now. And you're like, what business is it of yours? Yeah, I don't like female comics. I don't think they're as funny as male comics. Now
and then you're a criminal for thinking something. Yeah.
You can't buy food for him. You can be an asshole in the United States. That's part of what we started it for. You can be the asshole. You just can't hurt anyone.
Well, here's another example of that. High school kids were threatened with detention for booing, being forced with watching a Pride video in math class. I don't know what that has to do with math.
But all that, I don't. That's not what I think is interesting about it. I think that MySpace was really cool until your parents used it. I think Facebook was really cool until your parents and your grandparents started using it. And I think that being gay and the pride and all this stuff was like super cool until now. Everyone, 80-some-year-old President Joe is using it. It's their flag is held at higher than the United States flag at the Capitol. Now it's not cool, and even they're tired of it. It's not that they're not for it; they're just tired of it, and it's not cool anymore. And that's the one thing they tried to always do was to use the youth, and I think they've pushed it so hard and so far that they've lost the youth.
I agree. And I'm glad the youth are thinking for themselves and saying, like, well, what are are our thoughts and they're
not doing that. They're still morons, but they're just doing the usual moron thing. It's like once heavy metal people that listened to it got old enough to be parents, we moved to grunge rock, and it killed like hair metal and regular old metal, and we moved to grunge music. That's just a progression when they're not cool anymore. When your parents do it, when your grandparents do it, it's lame as shit. And that's what's happened with this. They pushed it so hard, they should have just left it as a use of something of the kids. And then that would have grown into what's the word? To a belief or an integrity kind of thing as they got older, but they pushed it too hard, and it's like a thing. It's an identity now that everybody uses, like hippies and love and all that. And so when they became parents, it flipped, and it was all about greed and excess and everything in the 80s. Like Family Ties. It's like Michael Keaton was the cool kid who just, wanted to make money, and it was all about excess. And his parents were, the sweet, loving hippies. That's how life is. That's how people are.
The pendulum.
Mm-hmm.
So Grassley apparently had a speech on the floor and alleges 17 audio recordings between Sleepy Joe Hunter and a foreign national and Hunter, and 2 with him and Joe kept as an insurance policy. So those will be interesting to hear. Of course, they're not putting those out. They're focusing all on Trump and trying to get that information out. Tons of stuff going on. Binance. They're stopping Joe's root canal to stop the 25th Amendment Act. This is what we have been looking for, the Litecoin community. The Hinman emails are out, and they've been released. Wait, this is the CFTC thing. We'll get to the Hinman thing, sorry. But this is recent court documents presented in CFTC versus Binance have provided increased regulatory clarity in regards to one of the longest persisting digital currencies. Beginning no later than July 2019 and continuing through the present, the relevant period. Binance, under Zhao's direction and control with Lin's willful and substantial assistance, has solicited and accepted orders, accepted property margin, and operated facility for the trading futures, options, swaps, and leverage retail transactions, including digital assets that are commodities, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin for persons in the United States. So there is some clarification from the CFTC. There was a lot of noise today around people talking about why is Hinman keep including Ethereum in the, where's that other email? Hold on one sec. Here it is. Even Hinman called it the Ethereum speech, or the Ether speech. So there's a lot of noise around this, that maybe this was to, maybe there was some other interest to protect Ethereum. It says attached, please find a draft of the speech I mentioned, which suggests that we do not need to, gosh, I really should have brought my glasses, to see let me make this bigger, regulate Ethereum as a currently offered security, that it language is in brackets would be used as we all in agreement to have a call with Buterin later this week to confirm our understanding of how Ethereum Foundation operates. Please feel free to share any comments with the folks in the CC link. And that was from Hinman. So then that includes all these people. A lot of .govs. And all this week, there's a lot of things happening with the library case. There's things happening with the XRP case. So we may be kind of popping in. I know I may be doing another video on the VeriDAO channel if we have some news around token holders in the secondary market, if there's a decision or another decision made on the library case. Have you heard any news on any of that with XRP?
Yeah, but I've heard like nothing credible. It's like, and I heard stuff going both ways, so I'm kind of ignoring it. Okay, let's see. Here's somebody saying an hour ago. This is a really, 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 really volatile time. As far as Binance, I think the powers that be are going to go after them very hard. very, very hard. But I think they're going
because
to.
they exposed all the FTX, was
That's
my
why.
understanding.
Yeah, that's why they exposed a lot of it. They did not play along with it. They really stepped up for the retail investor in the crypto community, and they weren't. I mean, you know, those people weren't expecting that. They were expect. That's. I mean, when you have a lot of money, Musk is a perfect example. I mean, people call it FU money. When you have that much money, that's you can do it. You know, people those entities lose so much of their power and their control over it, and that's one of the reasons why we need crypto so much. It's because it takes away that huge pillar of the evil that it's able to stand in the world. That's one of the biggest things they stand on is the pillar of the money. Um, and that's just a glimpse when you see just anyone that has a certain amount of wealth that they can't be messed with. Um, if you cancel them, who cares? They already have so much money. You know what I mean? So there's no point in even going after them. And that's Binance does have that. So I think they're going to fight back super, super hard. Look at a good thing is like look at XRP and how much they fought against the U.S. government, and look at Dragon Chain. If Dragon Chain had the coffers that XRP did,
they spent something like 170 million or 107 million so far fighting the SEC. That's incredible.
Who XRP?
XRP.
Yeah, Dragon Chain spent like
not XRP but Ripple. Sorry.
And Dragon Chain spent like 3 or 4, and they need money. You know, they need money to fund the legal fund, which we should put the link down there.
I shared their link on Twitter, and you can donate any crypto, and I'll put their link again in the.
And if you have a weird crypto, you can contact them, and they'll set up something to take it.
They'll set up something so they can take it and they'll swap it, and that's a way people can fight back, like as a individual, you know. Is to opt out of this corrupt system. This we talked about this on the Very DAO channel. I did an interview with Reggie just recently, and I showed we did a walk down memory lane and showed just how Gensler just flip-flops. 1 minute he's talking about, you know, how wonderful crypto is. And then, well, you might have to sell your crypto to some of the banksters to participate. And then the next he's like, oh, hucksters and fraudsters and whatever. And then it's like, oh, well, we just saw you move a bunch of money around, you know. And so Coin Bureau makes a comment and says, I'd love to see a debate between Gary Gensler 2018 and Gary Gensler today. So maybe Gary's like time traveling a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it's his twin. I don't know. There's a lot going on there for sure. A lot for people to watch. And this is just such a really volatile time, like you said. And a time there was one of our friends in the community, Kent from St. Jerome Crypto Experiences, sent me a really great lady that she does, she's prophetic and she's Christian, and he sent me one of her videos, and one of her most recent is she was on some XRP guys, but she was not promoting XRP. And when he kept talking about XRP, she didn't play into it. So everybody, this is a time for, she actually said that to everyone, as we go through this transition, it's going to look different for everyone. And I keep going back to that, the American common law thing. And it's time for all of us to be adults, and everybody is going to be in a different situation. So you have to look at, it's not time for us to listen to, it's time for us to take information from the world and people we trust, but do our own research. And then we have to apply it to our own situations. And it's time for everyone to stand on their own and say, what's the best thing for me, my family, and, you know, make the best decision for our families and ourselves. And she was talking about gold and silver, God's money, which is constitutional money, to get through, not to be, you know, crypto rich or to be, winning Lambo or whatever, but to get through this time.
You know
She
something
also,
really weird? You know something weird? It's a tinfoil
okay,
hat, and you have no idea of this because you're Lisa. But we just watched for family night. We watched the new Guy Ritchie movie, and was it for family night? Watch it, yeah. And it's a Guy Ritchie movie. It should be huge. Jason Statham, Hugh Grant. It's like an awesome cast, and it was a good movie.
it's like an army movie, isn't it?
No,
Oh,
he
I
does have
thought
a new.
he has an army movie out right
He
now.
does have a new one coming out of the Covenant, yeah. But that's the thing you even know about it. Hugh Grant's not an army movie, that's for sure. Jason Statham, Hugh Grant. Who's the girl? It doesn't matter. So, but here's the thing. So it's like government contractors.
Janet's catching up.
There's two government contractors that do a lot of shady stuff for the government. They hire him. Hugh Grant runs one. Not Hugh Grant. Cary Elwes. No, Hugh Grant did it too. He's hilarious. Cary Elwes is the leader of it. And so the government says, "Hey, somebody sold this thing. We don't know what it is from this place in the Middle East, and now there's people like making huge bids on it for like $10 trillion. We want you to find out what it is and steal it back." So here's the thing about the movie. The thing is this AI. It's called the Handle, and it's this AI that can rewrite any code, can break anything. And you find out that these, spoiler alert, these two tech oligarchs like Bill Gates and say
Joe Rhodes.
Facebook guy.
Oh, Zuckerberg.
Yeah, Zuckerberg. So they want to buy it for like $10 billion. And what they're going to do is they're going to disrupt the banking system and screw it up to where it crashes. But they've been secretly buying up tons and tons of gold and silver.
Mm-hmm.
Literally what's going on. It's like not. I'm watching the movie telling them like this is what's happening now. Yeah,
That's what's actually happening. Yeah,
do that. It's all happening.
Mm-hmm.
So then they find out that that's what they've been stockpiling tons and tons of gold. So it's going to skyrocket. When the financial system collapsed. But it was so like I was wondering, why isn't anyone talking about this? Why isn't there? It's like a huge release, and no one's. There's not a lot of press. It's not being pushed. And I watched the movie. It's like, oh, people don't want that. That's literally like what's happening, and they don't want people to talk about it or learn.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, everything we think is money isn't, but there's something that has always been money, like for almost all of humankind. Since we've become what's the word? Sophisticated. Since we're not cave people,
We've had it all the time. Like, that's the whole story of The Wizard of Oz. You've always had it.
And there has been, I think the original idea was sound. It was good. It was an improvement on gold and silver. Paper money was an improvement on gold and silver. It was. It was the crypto cash. Paper money was the crypto of the time because you couldn't move tons of gold and tons of silver and tons of copper. It's much easier to have it stored in a place you trust that your government has to answer to and has transparency about, and then they issue you these slips of paper that you can carry, and you're carrying tons of gold in your pocket. That's an awesome idea. That is great. As long as there's transparency and they have to answer to the people, and that's the way it works. But there's people involved.
So yeah, even early on, the guy started cheating, and that's why that broke.
But it's not trustless. Whereas this crypto is. So for the idea of the time, it was a great idea. It was the crypto of the day,
Yeah. This also happened recently, which was a disappointment, but that kind of stuff's going to happen. A lot of these cases end up settling, and we don't see the you know, the day of the public doesn't see the day of reckoning that we would expect to see or hope to see in public, because there is a settlement that happens, and usually there's NDAs involved with that and things like that. So JP Morgan Chase revealed it had reached a tentative settlement on Monday, that with the class action lawsuit filed against the bank victims of sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein, yielded the victims $75 million. And I can't begrudge them any of that. So I hope they have a lot of healing, and
Scroll up a little bit.
I hope he rots in hell
You scroll up a little bit.
along with Jamie Dimon.
Good. The full details of the settlement have not been released. However, a similar lawsuit claiming that Deutsche Bank knowingly benefited from Epstein's illegal activities yielded. So the Deutsche
So
Bank.
that's Deutsche Bank, 75 million.
Yeah.
We don't even know what the JP Morgan Chase amount was. Yeah.
Because I knew they were involved.
Mm-hmm.
And they should have, Deutsche Bank should have fallen at least 3 times in the past 4 years. They should have fallen at least 4 times. They've been SWAT raided, and I mean the government has come down on them. Not like in America. I mean they have been like people dragged out of the building by elite tactical forces, and nothing.
There's a bunch of stuff involving that I could not post on here, but it is in our Telegram group for Team Mighty that I really would recommend you guys go look at, read, educate yourself. There's like 3 posts about 8 million children missing. Former UN executive, former president of the Club of Rome for Europe confirms oligarchs who rule our world, blah, blah, blah. You can see all that. Moves on to somebody having a Freudian slip about what they eat. There's a Robert David Steele video presentation. There is footage of a young child being harvested. There's more and more information on there.
Well, Hunter's ex-bodyguard said that he was going to the kitchen. And he's like, "Hey, that looks like a kid," and everybody looked at him like, and someone grabbed him and like, "Shut the f up."
Mm-hmm.
It's like you don't talk like that.
Yeah, everyone should be talking about it, so it stops. You know, it has to stop, and if that means the dollar goes to 0 so that it stops, then let's do that. That's what needs to happen. That's what I think.
And see, that's what the Russian military is telling its soldiers.
Yeah, there was a great video of Putin talking with his soldiers. He pulled up a chair and said something about, there was somebody told me that we have a base close by us, and somebody told us that somebody very high up at the base said that we've been having military or war exercises for the last 6 months, and that they're getting ready for World War III. And I'm like, well, we're already in it, so I'm not sure what they're getting ready for. But then I saw the video where Putin like pulled up his chair and was talking with his soldiers. I don't know what that was about. What did you think that was about?
What, pulling up his chair?
Yeah, pulling up his chair and talking to his soldiers like it was over or good job and they were done there or something like that.
I didn't see it.
Oh, you didn't see that? Okay. Treasury is to borrow $1 trillion in the next 6 months.
Oh, shit. We better go over to my channel or I'm not going to do a show.
Okay. Oklahoma wants to raise. I have a couple more things I'm going to share.
You can talk to me over there.
Okay.
Okay. Olivia, see you over there.
See you over there. I'll be right there. Money experts warn that governments may freeze new bank withdrawals. I think you guys all know that. Also, they found some absentee ballots. More absentee ballots have been found in Michigan storage. Now that we can talk about that. Also, this is huge. Forever Chemicals, Griffin and AG Griffin files a lawsuit holding companies accountable. This is in Arkansas for the spread of PFAs. These are forever chemicals. You're going to hear more and more about these forever chemicals that are making us all very sick. 3M, DuPont, and these will be payouts to all of us, and hopefully we can all have some healing from things like the EESS systems and some healthy eating. So the 17 tapes, crypto law, the hate speech threats, more and more countries going to BRICS. Oh yeah, today was the depositions for Hunter's child support case begins. I think it's interesting that, all the news about that. Ramsway has called out, this is that guy, Vivek. He's running for president, and he has challenged all the other Republican people running for president to sign this thing that says that they will pardon Trump if they get into office. So I think that's very interesting. Once again, they're just saying indictment. I haven't heard this whole arrest thing, but like I said, I don't know the process. I'm not putting a lot of energy into that. Disarm. They're trying to say they're trying to treat you like you're stupid, telling you gas is down. So, all right. I'll see you guys over on Sean's channel, and see you right back on the show tomorrow for Woo Wednesday. Take care.